But Richard Spencer, there's a quote that he made. This is the quote. I posted it on my Facebook. He said, the whole point is, talking about race and fairness, the whole point is we've got to survive. He's talking about white people. He said, whether something is constitutionally legal, I could give a shit, to be honest. Survival is more important than law. He said, whether something is constitutionally legal, I could give a shit, to be honest. Survival is more important than law. That's why so many black folks out here getting killed by these race soldiers, because they all think like that. These white supremacists think like, fuck the law, fuck the Constitution. Our survival as white people is more important than the law. See, they're on a survival kick. They don't give a shit about nothing. They will lie, steal, kill, cheat, do whatever it takes to survive. That's what that alt-right movement is. They know that their numbers are dwindling. So Dr. Welsing put us up on their game for a long time. She was like, look, these people are going to harm black people and try to dominate you by any means. Not by any means, by every means. So we're going to have the same mentality on how to protect ourselves from people who think like that. See, we don't think in terms of survival like that. We're going to have that same mentality as far as us surviving. There's no other way around it. And they use deception. Deception is the number one tool for the white supremacists like that. Now, Jared Taylor. Now, Jared Taylor, he's been around for a long time. I've been warning people about Jared Taylor for years. He has a website called American Renaissance. You know, they've talked about me before because they monitor me. These white supremacist groups, they monitor me. They monitor my films. They post clips of Hidden Colors, talk about his liberal myths and all that bullshit. But this is the alt-right. This is a clip of Jared Taylor right here. This is the alt-right mentality. And understand, a guy, Steve Bannon, is going up in the White House with this same mentality. Look at this.
But why would anyone think that the people who live in the Congo are just as smart as the people who live in Sweden? Before black Africans had contact with outsiders, not one African society had invented the wheel. No blacks had a written language or a calendar. No blacks had built a two-story building or a mechanical device or had domesticated any beast of burden. All this suggests a low average level of intelligence. Black Africa has now been in contact with the outside world for hundreds of years, but it is still where you find the countries with the most poverty, the shortest life expectancy, and the lowest levels of economic development. Many people will tell you Africa is poor because it was colonized and exploited by Europeans. Not so. The most extensively colonized parts, such as South Africa, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria, are now the most advanced parts of Africa. Ethiopia and Liberia, which were never colonized, are among the poorest places in Africa. And do you know, but why would anyone think that the people...
So that's enough of his lies. So that's an alt-right. He was at that alt-right meeting yesterday. This is Jared Taylor. He was at the alt-right meeting yesterday. That's what they think. Now, look, I can debunk these lies. I mean, just give me in a couple of minutes. The lies are so easily debunkable. First of all, that whole thing about whites never colonized Liberia and Ethiopia and it's poor. Because first, all the poor parts of Africa is poor because of the economic hitmen. The white supremacists are responsible for all the poverty in Africa because they control the leadership, they control the military, they put in the diseases, they sabotage them economically. The white supremacists sabotage all of Africa. So that's a lie off the top. So that whole shit of, that's easily debunkable. You can debunk that easily. The white supremacists, they've sabotaged Africa economically. They put trade sanctions on African nations, and they've gone in there militarily. So the white supremacists, they've destroyed all of that shit. Let's just be clear. So that's That's too easy to debunk. I can throw out some books, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, that will debunk all of that. But what else did he say? He said Africans never developed a will. Go to Hidden Colors 4. We showed pictures of paintings that go back 7,000 years that's on rocks in the Saharan desert that show black Africans on chariots. I don't even have to go to Egypt on that shit. A lot of folks can just immediately point to Egypt. No. That's too easy. That's too easy. Too easy. I can deal with his bullshit in West Africa and Southern Africa. I don't even have to go to Egypt yet. That's too easy. Way too easy. We can deal with him in West Africa and South Africa. He also said blacks never developed black Africans never developed a calendar. Google the term Adam's calendar. Adam's calendar is the oldest man-made monument structure in the world, and it's a calendar that was found in South Africa. You can Google this. There's several books on it. The white supremacist media, they downplay it. That's why you have people like us who bring that information out. I ain't even going into Egypt yet. No. Egypt is too easy. Too easy. No. That's too easy. I want to deal with West Africa and South Africa. Because, see, they try to play that, well, the Egyptians weren't really black. Okay, and we can debunk that, but that's too easy. We can deal with West Africa and just debunk that bullshit. Go, again, Google Adam's calendar.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about a very unique and incredible stone site that we have discovered in southern Africa in the province of Mpumalanga. We call it Adam's Calendar. Previously we called it the Johann Heine Stone Calendar site because it was originally picked up by a friend of mine called Johann Heine. Johann is a pilot, has been flying over the Mpumalanga area for the past 20 years, photographing ancient stone ruins, and then one day when one of his pilots went missing and they found the plane crashed along down a cliff of a mountain, and they were flying to rescue the pilot who was sitting on the edge of the mountain waiting to be rescued, Johann noticed this strange arrangements of rocks on the edge of this mountain top. After walking up there and taking a closer look at it, he realized that this is no ordinary collection of stones just randomly standing around. And a few days later he came back and he started measuring this site. And he realized that this was certainly not an accident and a fluke of nature, that these stones and monoliths were placed there with a specific purpose in mind. And he came back and he started watching the movement of the sun, and he realized that it was perfectly aligned with the movements of the sun, and that it was aligned with east, west, north, south. And he started measuring the site and the rocks, and he realized that there was a perfect alignment intended by whoever built this site. And we've subsequently done a lot more work, a lot more exploration. We had geologists and astronomers and archaeologists up there, and had and historians, and looked at it from various different ways, and we came to the conclusion that this is in fact now the oldest man-made site on earth.
What else he say? Africans never had more than 2-story buildings. Go to Robin Walker's book. We touched on that in Hidden Colors 4. I had Robin Walker, the great historian, break down the architecture all through West Africa. We're still dealing with West Africa. We're not even on Egypt yet. We're talking about the great architecture that was in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Dartichit. Not only 2, 3, 4-story buildings, we're talking about palaces with windows. Very well documented. Go get Robin Walker's book, When We Ruled. We got all that shit with receipts. And in pictures, you go to Hidden Colors 4, we show paintings that the Europeans made when they went over to Africa, showing all of these this is West Africa, showing all these big 3, 4, second-story buildings with windows that's immaculately built. Oh, I've offered to debate Jared Taylor, Ben Shapiro, Richard Spencer anytime. I can debate them anytime. But Robin Walker got a whole book on that shit about the architecture of West Africa. We're talking West Africa. He also said that, well, the Africans, black Africans, never had a written language. Go check out the work of Dr. Clyde Winters. I think you can even YouTube some of his stuff, where this brother, Clyde Winters, break down all of the ancient African writing scripts. West Africa.
There are many West African writing systems. These writing systems reflect the extent of literacy among West Africans when they met Europeans in 1492. It is a myth that Africans lack literacy. Africans usually base their writing systems on the ancient Denite script, used by African people before the founding of ancient Egypt. Denite was prior to the script of the Proto-Saharans. East and West Africans continue to use traditional writing systems, especially in their secret societies. The vast majority of writing systems in West Africa are found among the Mandi-speaking people. The Bambara speakers, for example, use the Masaba system of writing. The major African writing systems include Loma, Kapeli, Mende, Vai, and a Wolof system of writing. All of these writing systems are found in West Africa.
I'm not even going to Egypt yet. I'm telling you, I don't even have to deal with the metanetta and the hieroglyphics. I don't even have to deal with that yet. I don't even have to go there yet. That's too easy. Let's go on back over here to West Africa. The Pro-Saharan script, 5,000-year-old languages. Look up Clyde Winters' books. With receipts. And they talk about domesticating animals. Man, Africans, there's paintings and drawings of Africans riding elephants. They domesticate elephants, lions. They had pet lions. I mean, come on, dude. That's just ridiculous. Now, that's just I'm white and I say so. Yeah, man, Songhai had castles. Again, I'm just dealing. I can debunk him in West Africa. I don't even have to go to the Moors. We don't even have to go there. Timbuktu. We had a whole university, one of the largest, oldest universities in the world before Europeans ever got over there. I mean, that just very well documented. So his shit can be debunked all in West Africa. We don't even have to go to the east side yet. But again, it's that I'm white and I say so. Oh yeah, shout out to Ola. There you go. Click on that link Ola just put up. Dr. Clyde Winters, he breaks down all of those old West African writing systems. Dr. Clyde Winters break that. He's thorough. That brother has receipts. I mean, this shit can be debunked. So that's why we do the Hidden Colors films. Because understand, that's what you have in the White House now. You have people like that, Jared Taylor. Blacks never did nothing. Blacks didn't have no calendar. Shit like that for motherfuckers who don't know. Oh yeah, we can debunk him in just one country. We can debunk him in one region. Yeah, we can just knock all that shit out in one little region. You dig? But it's that whole I'm white and I say so nonsense. You dig? And then, and with white supremacists like that, no matter how much proof you pull out, they're going to make all types of leaps of logic when you point out the great structures of Zimbabwe. I mean, we can go to the great Zimbabwe structures that some of the ruins are still there. They'll say some shit like, well, it was aliens who built that. They came in from outer space. And then they love to try to talk about how the Egyptians were some other mythological race. Oh, Lord. We debunked that bullshit, too, in Hidden Colors 4. We debunked all. That's why y'all need to get Hidden Colors 4. What he just said, we debunked that in about 10 minutes in Hidden Colors 4. Go to hiddencolorsfilm.com and get Hidden Colors 4. hiddencolorsfilm.com and get Hidden Colors 4. That shit can be so easily debunked. And understand, these are some of the people, these alt-right people, these people are getting in power now. These are some of the people that's going to be teaching. Just imagine that mentality in a classroom full of black kids.